you have come, my child.
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy.
Nothing personal, Leon.
I can't wait to see you ride!
Sure you're okay?
People can change, right? This time, it has to be different.
Welcome back to the handsome dimension. Leon's decided to make his return as our protagonist, and it's coming at the perfect moment, as things have gotten worse in every way imaginable. As always, we'll be getting every achievement in what is, so far, the largest game in the series. Now, despite what you may think of me after Resident Evil 3's 100%, I truly don't want to take any shortcuts that undermine the spirit of this challenge. I only bring this up because it's around this time where Capcom decides to start introducing DLC that lets you buy your way to victory with things like infinite ammo weapons. Now don't get me wrong, I love finding the fastest route for these completions, but I prefer to stick within the framework of what the game provides and to do it as cheaply as possible, so I will never be using those options if they're available. With that being said, in the interest of full transparency, when I bought all the Resident Evil games, I got them in a bundle for all the deluxe editions, which means that I do have access to one extra DLC, which is the Expanded Treasures DLC. All it does is litter the map with additional treasure, which increases the total cash you can earn throughout the playthrough. However, I still thought that was too much of an advantage for the first run, so I disabled it. Once I complete my first run completely vanilla and get to the point where my only purpose is to grind money, I switch it back on, since at that point the only thing it's doing is saving me time. The only other benefits the deluxe editions give me are some costumes and a couple weapons. I'll throw on the costumes to visually differentiate between runs, but I never touch the weapons. With all that out of the way, like always, we'll have to complete multiple playthroughs of both the base game and Ada's DLC separate ways. The first playthrough of each will be the longest, allowing me to cover the story and everything we need to complete the game. Subsequent playthroughs will be shorter and just focus on the challenges that each unique run brings. To start off, we go with Standard as our difficulty, since I'm a little baby and don't want to do hardcore off rip. Speaking of rip, we cut to live to watch this lady get asked a question in 4K. Leon gives us the recap, including the fact that he now works for the president.
Not that I had a choice.
Obviously, soon-to-be-dead guy number 1 informs us that people frequently go missing around here, and then proceeds to immediately wander off into the dark forest at night. Guy number 2 then tasks us with finding number 1, and we finally take control, decked out in this sweet-ass jacket. We find the only chill guy in town, who Leon doesn't clock as being infected yet, meaning everything from this point forwards is stuff Leon would do to a regular human. We spit the most white guy Spanish I've ever heard, and I'm saying that as a white guy that took Spanish.
Busco a un policía. Vino aquí?
Like the worst Spanish I ever heard.
What?
Leon kicks this full-grown adult man off his feet and into a wall, and we find the piss master dead in the basement. We fight our way upstairs, finding a picture of Ashley Graham, the president's daughter, and contacting America HQ before spitting a quip and jumping out a window.
I'll let myself out.
The mysterious yellow paint guy strikes again, and we enter the town square to find the local HOA having a barbecue. Apparently I wasn't invited, so I make use of Leon never skipping leg day. And just like the 90s sitcom, I'm saved by the bell.
La campana.
Leon, after killing upwards of 15 people that he still thinks are regular humans at this point, drops this banger.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
And we get the title card drop, officially starting the journey. For the first playthrough, I'm primarily focused on collectibles, which in this game are treasures and little clockwork guys, as well as the miscellaneous achievements, each of which I'll mention as we get to them. I find this guy embracing his true self, and grab the shotgun from upstairs before heading into the next area and going Metal Gear Solid on their asses. We scour the area, finding and destroying 5 blue medallions, to complete our first merchant request. This game introduces yellow herbs, which are necessary to increase our max health, and then they will never be seen again after this game. We catch the attention of Sledge from Rainbow Six Siege, who appears to be an equal opportunity attacker. With our gray matter bisected, run it back, except this time we're the one giving the bull the horns. I used my incredible tactician mind to force each guy to climb up the ladder one at a time, allowing me to clean them up easy style. We do our first of several unnecessary backflips and give Tayo Cruz a taste of his own medicine. This guy embarrasses himself in front of all of his friends, and I successfully parry an attack, earning the first achievement of the game. Make it a McDouble by shooting our first Clockwork Castellan, and we're basically almost done. Now I know that it's technically probably Castellan, but it feels weird to bust out the accent when I'm doing my dry sarcasm voice, so I'm going to take a page from Leon's book and activate White Boy Spanish. Somehow loosen a wooden board by kicking the nails deeper into the floor, and find Luis still in the larval stage, successfully stopping him from becoming a butterfly. We meet the Egon Bigman of this game, who injects us with a baby face hugger from Alien, and we pass out before coming to chained up. This one's for all you Leon fans out there. I've seen the edits.
Talk. Now.
We involuntarily make this guy play chained together with us, and we take control with no items except a kitchen knife we get off this guy. Now, when I was younger and played the original Resident Evil 4, I was convinced that if I could understand Spanish, the secrets of this game would be revealed. As an adult now who understands some Spanish, I'm here to tell you they are literally just spamming either "where are you?", "there you are", or "you can run, but you can't hide". We meet the merchant and turn in both the requests we've completed so far, earning us another achievement and granting us spinels, which are the merchant's exclusive currency we can use to get special items. I use one to get a map of all the treasures in this section, and use my cash to get a sniper rifle since it comes with a free scope and I'm incredibly susceptible to good deals.
Go on, take this as well. Free of charge.
We jump down into the next section, where apparently somewhere off screen is a Costco for dynamite, because it feels like every person in here has a lifetime supply. And yes, before you type your comment, I do know that if I scope in and hold it, I'll do an enhanced shot. It's just hard to not get your ass beat for 5 seconds. Having officially wiped out the entire population of Rhode Island, I pick off any stragglers and grab the key for the gate ahead, at which point even more guys spawn, luckily right next to this conveniently placed barrel. We get our first of the run, and purchase a weapon upgrade. I opt to go with the default pistol as my primary weapon for this run, mainly because the attaché case they give you increases your handgun ammo drops, and I never wanted to waste spinels to change it. In the next area, we destroy this chapter's Clockwork Castellan and get introduced to Mr. Chainsaw. We engage in a light B&E, interrupting this man at his most vulnerable. Add insult to injury by yoinking anything that isn't bolted down, and ask yourself how you would ever manage to get back to bed after a night out if this was your lock. Egon Bigman's back, but an old friend decides to make her return to save us. We learn that Luis used to work for Umbrella, just like everybody else in this entire series, and I save the wolf caught in the trap because I'm an animal lover. I would never hurt a beautiful creature. With the ire of PETA staring me down, I use my new key to open up the bingo hall, and I once again succumb to the siren's song of a good deal. The bolts from the bolt thrower can be retrieved, making it a great weapon to deal with the default guys without needing to waste our ballistic ammo. We arrive at the church cemetery, giving this gravedigger a promotion. Big shocker, the church is locked. We decide to trust this crudely drawn map on the wall, and head for the lake, getting a 2-for-1 special at Outback Steakhouse, and throwing bolts like it's my job. I enter an area filled with either ravens or crows, but since I don't hear any quothing, I'm going with crows. Each crow has the same item pool as a ganado, so I disappoint Rafiki and absolutely obliterate the circle of life. The merchant is holding an RPG in stock now, leaving me to wonder why I don't just hold him at gunpoint and confiscate everything he has in the name of the US military. We now arrive at one of the many banes of my existence, the shooting gallery. One of the achievements that we'll unlock much later on is to S-rank every shooting range. Just because I'm a completionist, I also wanted to try and get the max value out of each gallery, and I challenged myself to perfect every trial. Because I care about your viewing experience, I'm not going to show you the full 45 minutes that it takes for me to do this, but just know that the teapot that is my temper has started to boil. In exchange for perfecting this range, we get tokens we can use at the vending machine here that give us bonuses. The chance to get a good one is completely random, and you can't save scum to get the one you want. So I opt to go for 1 gold and 2 silvers every time, just to maximize my odds. I end up getting some decent ones on the first go, including one that boosts my running speed by 8%. I don't know what the speedrunning scene for RE4 looks like, but if it includes getting this charm, that seems miserable. We also get increased melee crit rate and weapon resale value, but those will be a lot less important in this run. I pop the Clockwork Castellan for this chapter before returning outside to watch these two guys feed Godzilla. I'm on the hunt for more blue medallions. I think I see one right around there. Sledge is back, and I introduce him to my new friend, the Bolt Thrower. I learn one of this game's hardest lessons, that Leon is part T-Rex, since this bolt is literally right there, but he's unable to reach it. I farm up some Vipers for the merchant to complete another 2 requests, then gas up the boat and head out to take on what I can almost guarantee has to be a TMNT villain. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the greatest at this fight, and it'll only ever get worse from here, but this fish sucks and I hate him. I throw so many spears at him, and nothing. The only thing that brings me peace is thinking back to simpler times. With us officially turning El Pescado into El Trabajo, Leon passes out and has a nightmare about being in one of those weird animes you never recommend to people. We wake up and find ourselves in a new area, and what better way to celebrate than by meeting a new enemy type? These guys are basically the premium version of the regular enemies, but for some reason it doesn't let me shoot while crouched, despite the fact that I could very easily make it work. I go reverse Jimmy Neutron, giving these guys a brain blast, and continue forwards to find a shrine with 2 mega hands. We pick up another merchant request, finding a new gun on a sunken ship, and immediately send it to storage, where I'll never touch it again. I can hear you typing your comment about how actually this is the best gun in the game and actually you're really stupid, but this is a recording from the past. I already did this. I see your fingers hesitating. I've always been able to see you. We continue the loop, returning to the area we were in at the beginning, only now it's nighttime. I find the girl from the beginning, who I 100% thought was going to come to life and try to kill me, and we pop another Clockwork Castellan before meeting man's worst friend outside. I turn Fido into Fidon't, hopping back aboard the boat and playing Temple Run. This chapter's a lot of me driving around in the boat, so let's go ahead and speed this up. You know, for a small island community, there's a lot of people here. I use the symbols around the area to unlock the door to the first key, which is, of course, a stone head that bleeds when I remove it. Despite meticulously clearing out this cave earlier, this causes more guys to spawn from somewhere, which also obviously turn into the premium versions because why would they ever reward me for using resources to clear out my path? I max out the Bolt Thrower, then head back out, grabbing a golden chicken egg and a fat-ass fish, all to satisfy the merchant's ever-growing desire for weirder and weirder stuff. With all that locked in, I grab the second stone head and slot them in, getting the key to the church and solving this puzzle, which genuinely made me question my own intelligence. With the open world exploration segment completed, we get to enter the arena for our next boss battle.
Shit.
Someone apparently decided to test what would happen if you feed a newborn baby 50 gallons of TRT, leaving us to deal with the after effects. The wolf we saved earlier comes in clutch, cementing his status as the dog.
You wanna help? Because I could use it. That's what I'm talking about. Good boy.
With the baby laying down for a nap, we say goodbye to the homie and head back to rescue Ashley. We solve another puzzle, leaving me to wonder whether it's the Ganados or the parasites inside them who know how to solve these puzzles. Ashley unleashes her ultimate move, skedaddles, and we get Voldemorted by Ugly Man Prime. Bingo must be over because the church is absolutely bumping now, and we get our first taste of the perpetual escort mission that every third chapter will be like from now on. Ashley falls into Leon's strong, firm, and handsome arms, and understandably immediately falls in love. Our options for Ashley are pretty limited. She can either ride our ass or go somewhere else while we fight. The go somewhere else option can be a little dangerous since she just kinda sends it wherever instead of going to a logical place. Like right here where her AI tells her the best place to be is right beside the guy that I'm fighting. For that reason, I mostly keep her on the on my ass setting, since at least that way I know where she'll be. She gets grabbed for the first time, cementing that her entire reason to exist is just to make our life harder. Now we have to kill unlimited guys while making sure she doesn't die or get carried away. Luckily, I've had some training with rough AI. I get the starting pistol close to max, then guide Ashley through the village square. There's a few treasures here that you need Ashley in order to grab, which makes me wonder why people are leaving their ultra valuables locked inside barns and tied to windmills. We make it back to the chief's house, entering the attic to learn the background of how the island got to be this way, which long story short is capitalism. We shoot a clockwork Castellan, then head back to the square to meet the ultimate in dog technology, who proceeds to wipe the floor with my ass. Run it again, only barely not killing Ashley, and eliminate the Dogminator, completing another merchant request and running for the next area. Apparently everyone in this goddamn town bought the Premium Enemy DLC, and to further increase my rage, Ashley gets punked on by a cow, who then immediately punks on me. We run across the bridge, meeting back up with Luis and activating the most Call of Duty level this game has ever seen. We have to hold out until the enemies drop wooden boards, at which point we can board up the windows, then go upstairs, hold out for even more time, defeat the Beef Master, and then the section's over. I'll let you know now, this section takes me an entire hour. During it, I'm also trying to look for any opportunities to kill 3 enemies with a single flash grenade, which only happens if they have the crazy head activated. Let's get it done.
You're serious.
We've got a big one on our hands. Stay focused. No me jodas.
This is gonna be bright.
Leon! This way, hurry!
With that section completed, Ashley starts coughing up blood like the family member in every drama movie that suddenly gets cancer, and Luis says he knows how to solve the problem.
But you're going to have to trust me.
We travel through the hallway of ultimate misery, grabbing some treasure and shooting another clockwork Castellan before Leon shoves Ashley in a locker and proceeds to hit another of his signature backflips.
I am flattered, but I'm a one-lady type of guy. Sorry, you're not my type. Not bad, right? Stay down, all right?
After clearing every single enemy out, I somehow managed to die on the last one. This game's punishment for me making fun of Leon. With that done, this door open, and Egon Bigman pulls up quieter than the T-Rex at the end of the first Jurassic Park.
Come, child. Ashley, run!
We run for about 30 seconds before reaching a very conspicuously placed save point. Mendez decides to show what's been hiding under his trench coat, beating my initial suspicions of being 3 kids stacked on top of each other. Once you give him enough of the business, his back falls off, and he goes full Curious George on me, but the only thing he's curious about is what my brains look like splattered on the back wall. He sometimes picks up the obviously red shootable barrels, and the logical part of me expects that it's the only real way to damage him since it's so telegraphed. But in doing that, this fight takes me 25 minutes of just dodging and waiting for him to pick up the barrels. Once he's down, we pull a rocket raccoon and yoink his eye, collecting the final village treasure and entering a new area, the castle. Having officially made it 1/3 of the way through the game, Luis tells us to meet up with him later on, and I once again fall for a buy one get one free sale, despite not knowing this thing even existed until right now. We scope out the crib, heading past Grosser Spider-Man before being told to kill myself in Espanol. I must have accidentally slipped through a painting at some point because we're now in Bob-omb Battlefield. We send a cannon up top, turning every enemy in the area into red goo, then blast the door forwards, meeting the next villain, Lord Farquaad. Dispatch the JV lacrosse team he sends our way, moving deeper into the castle and finding a new type of enemy, Hugh Jackman. We use our super stealth powers to stab him a bunch, earning us another achievement before shooting a clockwork Castellan and solving some puzzles, finally entering the suck zone.
Drop the girl.
Come on.
Leon!
Get back here.
Nice shot.
After enduring that onslaught, our tribulations aren't over yet, because we now have to defend Ashley while she pretends to play Forza. Also, we're getting attacked simultaneously while this is happening. Why didn't we give Ashley even one of our 14 guns?
Okay, get back here.
With that hellish nightmare past, Ashley gets mind controlled and decides to run away, despite 15 seconds ago being absolutely helpless unless I was there. She's probably thinking that she's now potentially dangerous to Leon, which means that she must have been closing her eyes when I roundhouse kicked 4 dudes with shields instantly to death. Of course, this now means we have to go find her again, and our connection to Hunnigan gets blocked, who we won't talk to again for the rest of the game. We head into the Gloria Las Plagas room, featuring this guy who says, and you'll never believe this, which is apparently so popular that everyone in this room loses their minds. The ultimate forms of being ugly are unable to mentally process what a flash grenade is, making dispatching them somewhat easy as long as you have the resources. I decide instead of waiting them out just to bum rush the big Giala P, leaving everyone else in this room primed for some bolt gunning to the dome piece. With that done, we reunite with our old flame.
Try using knives next time. Better for close encounters.
And solve another puzzle to continue onwards. Which, how are the enemies getting around this castle if I'm having to sort slabs of stone that were locked behind glass cabinets? The facehuggers from Alien arrive, and I fail at sniping with a pistol so bad that I reload the checkpoint just to give these guys the real deal. We have to progress through a series of flip-flop doors, again despite the fact that there's already guys down here. Since we haven't had it hard enough yet, we might as well add on a rock-chucking giant to the mix.
Another one. You guys are really starting to become a giant pain in my...
I find Ashley, who somehow made it here, and I orphan an entire flock of crows before checking to see if all dogs truly go to heaven. We get the clockwork Castellan for this chapter and raise 3 flags, but of course nothing in this game can ever be easy. With the way ahead cleared, we stop by the merchant to learn that the upgrade limits have been raised, and we find another shooting gallery, much to the detriment of my brain. Now, I glossed over this part on the last shooting gallery, but my god, the weaknesses in the shooting mechanics of this game become so much more apparent when you have to focus on specific targets in a setting like this. The main issue is that bullet placement is basically random. You can focus your reticle to have a lesser spread, but the second you fire, the spread increases again. This means you basically have to just aim close to the target and cross your fingers that you're going to hit what you're aiming at, especially at further ranges. This is made even worse when you have to hit even smaller targets on each figure to get S rank. I'm obviously not the greatest gamer in the universe, and I'm sure that if you really practice, you can reduce the amount of randomness of the bullets using specific strategies. But man, if I was on controller and just an average guy trying to do this, I don't know that I'd be able to. Regardless, after an hour of trying, I managed to perfect this set of 3, earning me a few more attaché case upgrades, most of which are worthless. If the shooting gallery decreased the spread of bullets, that alone would make it 1000% more enticing. But as it is, I'm only going for perfect to flex my skills to you all. With our little diversion over, we get back to doing what we do best, destroying anything that might have resources in it, no matter how priceless it looks. This room is all about Glory a las Plagas 2, sequel to Glory a las Plagas. I perform my patent-pending strategy of bum-rushing the big guy and performing the holy rite of tasting steel. Now that these guys are gloryless and full of holes, give them the showstopper suplex and grab the head nearby, at which point backup arrives and I'm left to wonder truly how many guys can there possibly be on this entire island. Ashley tells Leon he should throw on a suit of armor, a hint to the fact that the second I get it, I'm throwing her in one. I bring a knife to a sword fight, and Ashley acts like she's helping despite whiffing almost every throw she makes. We yank these ponytails and slice and dice Master Splinter before grabbing the final head and collecting any leftover treasure, then swap POVs to experience the Mary Jane section of this game. While we're Ashley, we have to open up every possible path so that once we return as Leon, we can collect all the stuff in here. But we're being hunted Scooby-Doo style. Luckily for us, these knights are basement dwellers, as direct contact with light causes them to freeze in fear. I'm left wondering who came up with the plan to stick a bunch of parasites in the armor. Are there human bodies in the armor, or are they just kinda gooing up the interior all by themselves? All of this is to guard the key to a door that just opens back into the main hall, by the way. Imagine if you had to go through all of this to find the key to your garage. Ashley rescues Leon just in time to get kidnapped again, this time by a giant bug, who we never learn anything more about as Leon, meaning he sees a giant bug guy and decides that's not his fight. We get a tip from Ada about where Ashley's going, but we have to backtrack first to collect some treasure and conk a parasite in a Gucci armor set.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I hear you. You've been so patient this entire video. But the moment has finally arrived. We're back in the zone. The bug zone. Unlike the set we dealt with in RE3, these guys don't try to force feed us spiders, and instead just fly around and be mean. They can also use camouflage, which, if you know they're there, are easy enough to spot, but if you don't, you do get tripped up pretty hard. This entire section has some really grating music, so I'll skip past most of it. But imagine me killing like 400 bugs, and it's not too far off. Now the next area has a section that annoys me greatly. From the moment you walk in, the game calls attention to the fact that there are the ugly Wolverine guys in the back. Obviously, they're blind and operate on sound cues, so I use my humongous brain, and primarily use the bolt thrower and my knife to take out the enemies, thinking that if I clear the room silently, then my reward is that I get to deal with the big guys all by themselves. That would be wrong. No matter what you do, silently or not, once they're released from their chains, more enemies will drop into the area, meaning the game is actively not rewarding you for playing intelligently. Obviously it's a horror game and you're meant to be on the back foot, but I wish there were more opportunities where you could outsmart the obstacles. Regardless, they're now dead. Ashley's forced to chug crude oil, and we're thrown into the hole I tried to dig to China in my backyard, and Leon somehow doesn't lose his arm catching this chain. Despite just watching the person I'm here to protect get probably turned into a monster, we crack a joke before getting introduced to the bugs from before, only now they're legitimately invisible. We find an important piece of treasure while we're down here, then crawl back up and enter the upside down for a second, arriving at the merchant who I'm not even going to question how he got down here. We sell that important piece of treasure for a mega dose of pesetas, earning us another achievement and heading into a very obvious kill zone. This area houses our next big opponent, Slender Bug, whose weakness appears to be a nice wintertime day. I imagine most practical advice would tell you to wait to face this guy down until you have stronger weapons, but since when have I ever been smart?
I think you need to chill out. You son of a bitch!
like some peace and quiet. My condolences to your master.
We get brain blasted a message from Squidward before meeting back up with Luis, who either just got here or decided not to help me in my battle with Slenderbug. Unluckily for me, the merchant decided this random cave system would be a great place to construct the third shooting gallery, this one focusing on pistol skills, which, luckily, is one of my best areas. With more useless charms acquired, I upgrade my main weapon to max and head into the mines with Luis. We grab some dynamite and blow the way forwards, meeting two big uglies this time, with one of them sporting some custom armor. I didn't learn this until a different playthrough, but you're able to drop them down into the lava in the center of the arena if you time it right. My unawareness led me to do this entire battle old school style. I did get a challenge for doing it that way though, which doesn't actually do anything except give me some extra points to unlock stuff later. Luis and I decide to start our 2-week Minecraft phase, and I have to lock the fuck in because our next achievement requires us to complete this entire section and the next section without taking any damage.
Hope you like thrill rides.
It's them! Watch out!
This it?
Afraid not. Things are just getting started. Hey, is that noise what I'm
Got trouble!
Are you serious? Jump!
Somehow, despite going 50 miles per hour and jumping to a complete stop, we're totally fine. The bridge ahead falls out, and instead of jumping across or sidling the very intact railing, we have to navigate all around the bug dimension, all while making sure we destroy the entrances to the bug realm above us. Somehow the merchant got into this tunnel before we did, and slipped past all the bugs while carrying his entire inventory and even managed to do his little decorations. I searched for answers on how this could be possible, but I'm gonna keep looking around and I'll let you know if I find anything. Leon still thinks Luis is going to backstab him, which turns out to be very ironic.
Luis!
We now have to go hand to hand with our old mentor, but unluckily for him, I'm cracked on the sticks.
Operation Javier?
Let it happen.
No mercy. Only devastating power. What's wrong? You got lucky there. I can understand. What happened was unforgivable.
Luis comes to the rescue, giving us the key to his lab, and then immediately heading off to the buttermilk farm in the sky. Leon sends him off with a little more white guy Spanish.
You were a fine night, Don Quixote.
And we get a FaceTime from Ada despite only having an earpiece in. Now we could immediately head forwards towards the clock tower, but we have to first take a little detour to pick up some treasure, do a little flexing, and do just a hint of vandalization. The clock tower is absolutely chock full of guys trying their damnedest to smack me on the tuchus. But unluckily for them, Leon was a D3 high school wrestler and he only ever practiced one move. While ascending the clock tower, I attain both traits of a Krispy Kreme donut, and abuse iframes to not get ultimate crushed by the unlimited supply of spiked iron balls that this castle has. I assume the huge forge in the basement was exclusively built to cast giant spiked iron balls that they roll down the stairs. I'm able to turn this to my advantage when the reinforcements arrive, as it seems their plan didn't account for getting pancaked. Once we start this platform, we're fighting for our next achievement, and this one's a toughie. We have to get the lift through this entire section without a single person jumping on. If they do, the lift stops and we lose the achievement. This red guy is the first big hurdle because he's going to Gloria Las Plagas every enemy in range, causing them to get a lot tougher, so finding a way to deal with him is the first big goal. After a few more failed attempts, I remembered that I have access to something.
How thoughtful.
With a few more tries and a little luck, we reach the top, earning the achievement and heading into the next area, collecting the final treasure of the castle and heading in to face Ramon Salazar.
Ashley!
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy. To have been bestowed with Lord Sattler's.
You talk too much.
It failed.
You vulgar!
Utterly uncivilized. Mongrel. Allow me to show you the power I've been granted by my master. The power of God. The stage is set for the final act. To your own actions. This means death. It's long, miserable death. Die, you demon child. I'll send you back to the hell you came from.
We watch Ashley sailing away to the third map of this game, and Leon calls shotgun to lock in passenger princess status while Ada drives the boat to the island. Upon arriving at the island, we meet back up with the merchant, who must have his own faster boat and be able to predict where I have to go next. Either that, or there are actually like 25 different merchants, and they're all clones that set up their own unique shops but have a combined loyalty program. Let me see if there's any more answers online. Still inconclusive. Now, I tried to come up with some witty dialogue for this next section, but truly it can be summed up by me saying I fight my way through the island, because nothing interesting happens. I find Ashley taking a fat nap, but of course getting to her requires the level 3 keycard. So we'll have to navigate the countless enemies and the spooky hallways to make a level 3 keycard, leaving me wondering whether there's an assigned intern who has to do all this to make a card every time they add another person to the hive mind, or if they pre-made a bunch of keycards and then filled the area with monsters. Merchant Clone 26 set up shop in the rotting kitchen, which likely dampens his curb appeal but probably has favorable rent. We witness a tubby zombie shamble across the hallway, only to immediately vanish despite making no discernible getting out of their noise. We find a guy getting backshots from the facehugger, and Leon says the most accurate thing he's said all game.
Fuck are you?
Turns out the tubster is called a regenerator, and I'll give you 3 guesses as to why. I kinda just assume that they can't be killed unless I have a stronger weapon like the Paleheads from 3, but I will later learn that's not correct, so me avoiding them here is mostly my bad. I find the biosensor scope a little later on, allowing me to see the parasites within the regenerators, and shoot 2 parasites at the same time, earning me another achievement. One of these guys has the wrench that I need inside them, which I'm not asking any questions about, and we get the level 3 keycard and head back to rescue Ashley, stopping by to get a new sniper on the way. We mainline Ashley with some lean, heading out to go get the parasites removed at Luis's lab. Ashley drops a peak reference.
Pretty much a master of unlocking.
It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
And Leon has some performance issues that are totally normal and could happen to any guy. Much to my dismay, we find the 4th shooting range waiting for us here, and this one absolutely grinds my gears. You probably can't tell just by watching gameplay, but in the 2.5 hours this shooting range takes me, I get progressively more and more frustrated, eventually culminating in me Alt F4ing and coming back the next day to try again, where I ultimately decide against trying to perfect every shooting range. This one broke me. The SMG plus shotgun combination is too random for me to perform consistently with, and I was losing my actual mind, so I just moved on. I still get the S rank, which is all that I need for the achievement, but I didn't perfect it. Now with Ashley in tow, we fight our way deeper into the island, where I find another locker that I can shove Ashley inside. This immediately activates my spider sense, so I cautiously push forward, only to be greeted by the Tubmaster General, only this time he's even worse. Now after you kill them, you have to kill them again, and they're really spiky. I have to 9mm a few more rats for the Merchant Armada, and leave Ashley alone for 5 seconds to go turn on the power. Surely this can't go wrong.
No!
Apparently the way forwards has been cemented over, and Leon isn't forklift certified, so blue-collar Ashley steps up to operate the wrecking ball while we protect it. The fact that it takes more than 3 swings is astonishing to me. Ashley decides to shoot her shot and airballs hard, which is probably for the best because she immediately tries to kill me 30 seconds later. Continuing the streak of getting Ashley back and then losing her a chapter later, we now head into the next big boss fight.
I've been waiting for you, rookie. The most important thing in this world is pure, unadulterated power. Move out and draw fire, soldier!
Sloppy!
Ready to die, rookie.
You've done well to stay alive this long! I'd be dead if I kept listening to people like you. This is it, soldier!
Making mistakes.
I'm not falling for your mind games. Sure you don't need a breather? That armors must be killing you.
Opening a new wound is the best way to forget an old one. Pitiful. That's not gonna work on me.
You're really doing this? It's not too late.
You and me are 2 sides of the same coin. Guess that means we'll never see eye to eye. You've made it all this time. You haven't learned a thing. I have to say, disappointed.
From you, I take that as a compliment. Are we we done here, Krauser?
I told you. Again. And again. You're too soft to do what's necessary.
Are you ready, rookie? Yeah. Let's settle this.
I'm not surprised you made it this far. Not bad. I didn't expect anything less. You can't deny this power. Strike. Turn into a freak like you. You gotta be out of your mind. My strength is without you.
Do what you have to do. That's right. I trained well. Leon.
With Krauser down, it's time for the classic Amino line of I fight my way through the island. The only noticeable difference is that I'm now aided by a single attack helicopter sent by Hunnigan, who I haven't spoken to since the village. She apparently doesn't quite grasp what I'm up against because she only sends one, and he brings just enough ammo to get me through a single section. As I'm about to end the game early, the devs TP Sadler to my cords and give him 40 bug spawn eggs. I swear to avenge the guy who did mostly nothing to help me and complete the final merchant request. You'll never guess what I do next though. That's right, fight my way through the island. This particular section is egregious and really highlights what I don't like about this section. There's like 30 guys in this area plus bugs. Once you clear them all out and walk forwards, more guys spawn. You back up, clear those guys out, walk forwards again, guess what? More guys spawn. Eventually I make it through and reach Ashley, but Squidward is here waiting for me. I'm saved by Ada and forced to endure the only thing worse than endless waves of generic bad guys, a set speed walking section. This is also unskippable, so just know in every future playthrough, like 3 minutes of my playtime is dedicated to holding the W key. We plug Ashley into the Cancer Beam 9000 and then immediately pass out, coming to having slept through our own radiation blast. I think there's enough of a questionable time gap to say that Leon actually didn't have the parasite removed and is just a member of the flock now, and Ashley is still under their control and didn't remove it on purpose. We find correspondence between Luis and Ada and continue forwards, grabbing the final piece of treasure and entering the final showdown with Sadler. He decides to do what every Resident Evil boss does and turns into a really big ugly monster. Where do they all get the mass from? Do they have ultimate supreme cancer that grows that fast? Where's the cancer getting the mass from?
Such blasphemous desecration, such unforgivable heresy. Yet, is it not that helpless you once more?
that suits you, Sadler. A monster in and out. Still, I need to cut this date short. It's not me. It's you.
Use this!
I'll give you a holy body.
With Sadler down, Leon says the title of the DLC to let us know we still have to do it.
I think we both know this. This is where we go our separate ways.
And we continue the Resident Evil cycle of having to run out of an exploding area on a timer, shooting the final Clockwork Castellan on the way out, and rip a jet ski all the way to the ocean without taking damage for our final missable achievement. Leon and Ashley jet ski off into the sunset, which legitimately made me laugh out loud, because as we see in about 5 seconds, they don't have a backup plan. Leon is committed to jet skiing all the way to America. The credits show the transformation of the village from Chill Place to Evilburg, which is pretty cool for credits, and we get our first look at the man himself.
I am expediting that change.
Albie Wesk is back, and we'll be seeing him very shortly in RE5. Our final playtime clocks in at just under 20 hours, cementing this as the longest single playthrough of Resident Evil I've ever done. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay Amino, what super challenge are you going to do in the next run? And that's a wise and very intelligent question to ask, and from such a beautiful or handsome person. But unfortunately, that's not the right question, because we aren't doing another run yet. We have something we need to get first. One of the achievements in this game is called Gun Fanatic. As the name suggests, it requires us to obtain every weapon in the game. One of these weapons is called the hand cannon, and it's typically locked behind completing an entire playthrough on the hardest difficulty without infinite ammo weapons. I don't know about you, but that sounds miserable. So let's not do that. By spending a measly 30 minutes playing the Mercenaries DLC, we can get an S rank on every map and obtain the hand cannon much easier and with a lot less frustration. The added benefit of the hand cannon is that by using an exclusive upgrade ticket on it at the merchant shop, we can unlock infinite ammo as early as Chapter 7, letting us get an infinite ammo magnum on our second playthrough. Speaking of our second playthrough, let's jump into that now. I debated for approximately 10 minutes and 51 seconds about whether or not the next run should be the max difficulty run or the challenge run, but I decided that I wanted more practice running the game before tackling the max difficulty playthrough. Since our first playthrough took so long, and I have a limited amount of storage on my hard drive, we're going to have to go for broke and combine basically every challenge into one run. This means we'll be going for completing the entire game without talking to the merchant, completing the entire game with only handguns and knives, without healing, and doing everything in under 8 hours. I'll remind you, the first playthrough took 20 hours, so I have my work cut out for me. The only real benefit of cramming all these together is that they don't say it can't be done on New Game Plus, and there's no difficulty requirement. This means we can carry forward our upgraded pistol, and for completing the Clockwork Castellan achievement, we have access to the Primal Knife, which has infinite durability. By playing on Assisted, our health will recover very slightly up to a set limit, which is the only method of healing we'll have, but apart from that, everything's the same. Let's get into it. Now, we don't actually start where you'd think we'd start. We first have to go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkey off the menu. And by that I mean we have to reload the last save of our previous run to sell all the treasures and extra ammo we don't need. Now wealthy beyond my wildest dreams, I buy every gun the merchant is selling to make progress towards Gun Fanatic. I also max out the Primal Knife and set my attaché charms to prioritize speed and knife damage. With my inventory prepped, I'm now able to actually start the real challenge. I drip out Leon in the Al Capone special, and we get off to the races. The main issue we'll encounter during this run is ammo. Since the handgun is the only thing we can use, we want to conserve our ammo as best as we can for the big fights like Mendez and Salazar. That's why having the Primal Knife is so clutch, since without the merchant we wouldn't be able to repair our knife and run out of ammo very quickly. It's also important as we play through New Game Plus that I still collect whatever treasures I can, because the Infinite Ammo RPG, which is required for the Gun Fanatic achievement, costs $2 million. There's a charm you can get from the shooting range, which brings that down to 1.6, which I luckily managed to snag earlier, so we only have to earn about $1 million more than we currently have. Okay, back to the montage.
that one who must protest
I obviously had to drip Ashley out, and since I haven't unlocked the outfit she'll be permanently in later, I throw her in these cute Victorian-style clothes.
Let's get the hell out of here.
I got this. Sure thing. Let's see you climb this.
This way, hurry!
Out of the way. Bert?
No, I'm okay.
Hurry! We see him again. You run.
Whereas the first Mendez battle took me close to half an hour, I wrapped this fight up in a little under 2 minutes. My health and body armor slowly chip away throughout the castle until my health hits the lowest it can go before regenerating, and the body armor runs out. This means we're basically always one hit away from death at any point, and we still have over half the game to go. The actual routing through each chapter is a lot easier now that I know where I'm going, leading to most of the challenge coming from staying alive.
Not bad, right? Another one. You guys are really starting to become a giant pain in my ass. Easier this way.
I could take the easy way out with Verdugo and just avoid him until the elevator arrives, but what am I? A bitch? A trick that I only learned about after filming this entire video is apparently if you throw a golden egg at Salazar, he loses 2/3 of his health instantly, and a second golden egg kills him. At the start of this, I thought the regenerators would be a huge issue, until I learned you can just spam knife them and you'll most likely hit the parasites within them.
You're serious.
How do you like this? I was thinking, we work well together, don't we?
Well, either way. First, we have to make it out of here.
You're no fun.
With everything done up until now, I do one final check of my status to make sure I haven't accidentally done anything bad, and I head out to finish this run. By clocking in a run of 6 hours and 15 minutes, without healing, talking to the merchant, and using only pistols, we have successfully cleared our first major hurdle. With another run's worth of practice under my belt, I decide now is the time to go for the professional playthrough. Luckily, while there are S+ rank achievements for standard and hardcore, there isn't one for professional. In order to earn S+ rank, you have to start a new game, which means I wouldn't get my upgraded health, upgraded weapons, or infinite ammo. Since Professional doesn't have that requirement, all bets are off, and I'm absolutely abusing the hand cannon for this entire run. I would show more of this playthrough, but the hardcore S+ playthrough is going to have everything you crave in terms of me getting my ass kicked, so let me have this one. Please. I need it. It mostly just looks like the last playthrough, except anytime a single pixel of enemy flies into my airspace, I nuke it with the power of the hand cannon. Also, like 20 minutes into this run, I unlock the infinite ammo RPG, so that adds a little spice to the run. Enjoy the carnage. This is playthrough 3 of 8, and it's the last time I get to use the RPG before achievement requirements stop me. For completing any run at hardcore or higher with an A rank, we finally unlock the pièce de résistance, the knight armor for Ashley. This makes Ashley indestructible and impossible to get carried off, which basically means we can forget about her once we have her. This was crucial to obtain before the S Plus playthroughs, which is why they come after the professional playthrough. Now, in another astoundingly intelligent move by the achievements team, the achievement for Hardcore S Plus and Standard S Plus are separate achievements. This means we'll have to do 2 playthroughs in order to unlock each achievement. I'm not going to make you sit through 2 nearly identical playthroughs, so we'll just go ahead and watch the easier of the 2. Oh, what's that? You would rather see me suffer and cry? I bet you would, you sick fuck. Whatever. Here's the Hardcore S Plus playthrough. As I mentioned earlier, S Plus ranks require you to start a new game without any of the upgrades or bonus weapons you unlocked from earlier runs. However, they don't negate you from using weapons that you can buy with the points you earn from completing challenges. This means that the hand cannon is on the table, just without any upgrades. In order to earn S Plus, we have to beat the entire campaign in under 5.5 hours, so here's the plan. We run through the first 7 chapters while completing every merchant request we can, and fighting tooth and nail to stay alive. If we get truly desperate, we can pull the hand cannon out of the bank and use the 6 bullets we have as a get-out-of-jail-free card, but for the most part, we're on our own. Once we reach the castle in Chapter 7, we use 30 spinels that we've saved up throughout the run to unlock infinite ammo with the hand cannon and then coast to the finish line. The only thing standing between us and finishing off the base game is 7 chapters. Let's do this.
I got something new for you.
Nice.
You really are the best.
With that run complete, I do it one more time on a lower difficulty, and the base game for RE4 is officially complete. Thank God there isn't a DLC that's basically the same length as the entirety of RE3's remake. Oh wait. Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me. I know you probably thought this video was over. I wish that was true. We now have to beat an entirely different game, as a different character with different weapons. Everything we did over there doesn't matter anymore. In the wise words of Outcast, we're starting this DLC so fresh and so clean. We now get to play through the game from the perspective of Ada Wong. Despite knowing that, our first cutscene shows off Luis absolutely stunting on these hoes, only to be promptly rescued by us. Luis has promised to give us the amber, and we need it for our fluctuating motive purposes. But whereas Leon fights Salazar and Mendez, Ada's big foe is a little buggier. We'll be spending the game fighting Red Lobster's mascot while doing a bunch of way cooler shit than Leon did. Every now and again we'll have to radio in to Papa Wesker, but he's souped us up with ultra spy gadgets to allow us to get around easier. During this first section, it's basically the same plot as Leon's, except we raise the cannon and destroy the catapults before he's even here. So did they rebuild a bunch of trebuchets and lower the cannon back down? We're heading through areas we came through as Leon in reverse, making our way back to the church to meet up with Luis. Wesker calls us more than an overly anxious mother on prom night, and all he does every time is just mog the camera.
The president's daughter. Undoubtedly.
Couldn't have picked a worse time.
We reach the farmhouse, I spying Leon in his sick jacket, obviously having just arrived in the area. I still take the time to do all the side stuff on this playthrough, like merchant requests and treasure, but none of it is related to achievements, so they're not worth mentioning. We make it to the church to meet up with Luis, only he's a no-show. We know that's because he's tied up in the basement of a house nearby, but that's a little something called dramatic irony. Ada rings the bell to save Leon, which legitimately blew my mind. And while sitting outside the church, you can hear Ashley having a big cry inside. A reference to the fact that we could probably easily help her, but choose not to. Turns out the merchant is two-timing Leon because he offers Ada attaché charms without making her do the shooting range. We head back to the village square, encountering Eugene Krabs once again, only this time he's given us a macro dose of shrooms, allowing him to star in that hit movie. A pro tip I learned later, the real one has the glowing red eyes. Having been officially doused in an unhealthy amount of garlic butter, Big Larry flees the area, and we head towards the village chief's house because maybe Luis is there? He isn't, but someone we know is. Ada does a piss-poor job of hiding here, and we search the chief's house, freeing a chicken from the oven, which wasn't there during the Leon playthrough, meaning that off-camera, either Leon or Mendez stuffed a chicken in that oven. Somehow Mendez snuck into the house right behind me, despite his steps quaking the earth. And we flee all the way back to the factory, which luckily just so happens to be Luis's last known location. This zombie stole Leon's jacket and put it on, meaning either the zombie got cold or it recognizes drip when it sees it. We head to the basement and find nothing? I find a pack of cigarettes that really looks like they should be interactable, but nothing else. Now, if you've played this game, you know what I did wrong. For the rest of you, here's what and I guarantee a solid amount of people missed. There's a footprint down here that's very faintly glowing on the ground. You first have to scan that footprint before your brain can even comprehend that the cigarettes might be a clue. With our cerebellum operating at max load, we now have to escape the basement while the entirety of the Brady Bunch comes for us. They throw not one, but 2 chainsaw enemies at us, a feature that will cause a mighty amount of pain to me 2 playthroughs from now. But we take down everyone and head out, passing out in the middle of a swarm of enemies. We're saved by Wesker, which I can only assume means that he's already a super mutant at this point and can teleport and do all the other wacky stuff he's able to do later. Why then he doesn't just sprint around this island and do all this shit himself, I don't know, especially when it's revealed at the end that his boat is like 5 feet away. We head back towards Luis, who is currently doing the holdout in the house section, only to see that one of the giants is on the way over. Ada decides in her endless benevolence to take it out, meaning it's now my problem. With the big boy down, we meet back up with Luis, heading back to the castle. Ada's route in this DLC has been castle to village and then back to castle. Luis says he won't get the amber until he cooks up some medicine for the infection that literally everybody has, and we watch Luis log into the Zoom in real time.
Hola, Luis here.
5 seconds after deciding he has to cook up a cure, Luis goes from we're so back to it's so Jover, then back to we're so back again. We now have to find the ingredients for Luis's medicine, starting with red ink in this room. We say hi to Mr. Handsome, then live the other side of the Batman act, before solving a puzzle and escaping the Underminer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you now to warn you. We will be back to this section in the professional playthrough, and when we get there, don't be mad at me. It was a dark time. You'll see when we get there, but safe to say this section is dog water. With the Knights down, we now have to chase the Usain Bolt of Gloria Las Plagas guys, who decides that after watching all of his brothers get gunned down by Leon, his best bet is to fucking hoof it the second he smells gunpowder. Once he falls, we continue to head backwards through what Leon's already done, giving him a FaceTime and moving through the area with the giant, but after Leon's already fought him. Wesker talks mega shit about Leon,
as long as you can keep your dog under control.
But like 5 years ago, Wesker was a local cop at the same station Leon was going to work at. We tattle on our enemies, then continue putting it in reverse, where somehow there are still dudes in here despite Leon having freshly torn through this place. Utilize secret agent vision to solve the puzzle for the final ingredient, and meet back up with Luis, who gives us that good stuff just in time for Mountain Dew Code Red to show up to the party. We managed to acquire sobriety just in time, following Luis's footsteps down into the sewers because of course we are. Just add insult to injury, the sewer is the DLC's bug zone, so double fuck me. After draining the water, we go ahead and throw on our fish fear me hat and catch ourselves un grande pescado, before encountering another one of these lovely things. With everything in our path dealt with, it's time to take on Insectus Prime. For real style. Well, he went down easier than I thought.
You're not getting away.
Okay, now that both of them are officially down, we make it back up top just in time to watch Luis beef it. And we follow Krauser through the clock tower and into a new cave system that Leon never visited. The trick for this area is dodging the rock smashers, which I couldn't tell you the purpose for which these were built. Why is this something you want in a mineshaft? Once we make it through the unlimited number of enemies out here, we fill Wesker in about Krauser, and I'm actually surprised Wesker doesn't just go 1v1 him at this point. We hitch a ride with the Stud Muffin, and Wesker gives us a new mission, taking this briefcase and doing something with it? Wesker doesn't say, and we jump off a cliff before he can tell us. We do the classic Leon and fight our way through the island, saying hi to Leon and riding the Mob of the Dead gondola to an area with big machine gun turrets. Once we escape from that hell, we find that this facility is being guarded by Clayface from Arkham City, only we don't have freeze grenades. He's legitimately invincible to weaponry, so this entire section is just sprint as fast as you can non-stop. We get to do cool spy shit, and Wesker decides to nuke the island for some reason. Ada hacks into the mainframe to betray Wesker, but I still don't really understand what's happening, so you know, that one's on me. But we get to do some cool laser dodges, so that makes up for it. We decide to become good for real temporarily and head out to help Leon and Ashley not turbo die. This calls for a good old-fashioned I fight my way through the island. Just like Leon, Ada's final boss is also Sadler. We just get to fight a significantly less monstrous version of him. We now get a front row seat to watch Leon's fight, but I really wish it had action memory and would show you your specific boss fight. We end off with a big run to the finish while a timer ticks down, as is dictated in the Holy Bible of Evil Residences, and grab the RPG that we now have to deliver to Leon. With that completed, Leon once again name drops the DLC,
Separate ways.
and we tell Wesker to suck eggs. The post-credits scene shows that the briefcase thing we did was just limit the damage to the island to only half destroyed, and Wesker is now in possession of Krauser's body, which I think is how he gets the stuff to do RE5. I'm genuinely surprised they didn't have him take off the glasses to show the demon eyes, so missed opportunity for them. Regardless, we have now locked in the first of 3 Separate Ways playthroughs, and the good news is, you don't have to watch the second one. The second playthrough was a fast one on standard again, going for S+ just to get an accessory to make professional marginally easier, but it honestly doesn't do much. There aren't any easy bonus weapons I can use to cheese the professional playthrough on, so what you're about to witness is me playing at full power to endure the brutality that's about to rain down on me. This is it. The final playthrough. Now, I'll keep it totally real with you here. This is an incredibly sour playthrough to end on. Every frustration that is built up within me is compounded and beaten down into me during this run, and without infinite ammo weapons, the sheer amount of ass that I suck shows itself tremendously throughout this entire run. I'll be filing most of my grievances with you all, because that's what you're here for, and I have to release this dark energy somewhere or else I'll die with it. Without further ado, let's descend into hell. We throw on every alternate outfit we have, and I equip the bear hat, which was the accessory I got for S+ing standard, which increases the damage of my melee attacks. Is that helpful? No, but I had to do something to feel better about my chances. The run doesn't give you a single ounce of grace, as it immediately throws you into the first boss fight against the big guy. The reason I did the second S+ playthrough was because I tried doing this run like 5 different times, and I kept getting obliterated by Pasanta, so this is the only fight I've practiced at a higher difficulty, which is why it doesn't look bad yet. Here's 5 seconds later. Oh, I also forgot to mention this earlier. Unlike the main game, we have to S+ this run. That means we beat the entire game in 2.5 hours with less than 10 total saves. I will be using every single one of those saves, which means knowing when to save is crucial to not lose progress when I inevitably die. That death you just saw? I had to fight Big Bug again after that death, and I'll have to fight him again every time I die until I hit the first save point. Also, since you have to play on New Game, none of the health or weapon upgrades persist, just like Leon's S+ runs. I know that you know that by now, but I'm saying it for my grandma who's watching this and doesn't even know what's happening anymore. I head into Chapter 2, still having not saved yet. A lot of the smart plays you have to do to survive this rely on using the environment to your advantage however you can. I use this trap to blow up the cow guy, then head forwards. That fast. That's how fast you can go from making good progress to losing it all. I legit just sat on the menu for a while grieving. I also want to call out that every time you see me parry, I'm absolutely cracked out of my mind because the timing window for parrying is reduced down to like Sekiro levels. I'm going to fast forward back to where I was, but don't let that lessen the fact that I still have to do everything over again. I almost let my resolve crumble and saved after Chapter 1, but I held myself back to save it for when it's significantly more useful. This is the damage a single crossbow bolt does to my health, by the way. I flash stun these guys to buy me enough time to grab the yellow herb and skedaddle, making my way through the next area mostly unharmed thanks to me being locked the fuck in with the parries. This lady bought the infinite ammo crossbow just to spam me with it apparently, and I reached the first typewriter, allowing me to pull out Ada's infinite durability knife, which I got for completing all the merchant requests in that first run. We still don't save yet, making it all the way to the church, killing this guy for his glasses in a bid to get literally any amount of extra cash I can to lessen this burden. After collecting every single item I possibly could, I sell everything I've collected so far, upgrade my sniper's damage and reload speed, and lock in the first save of the run. The reason why I saved there should be immediately obvious. Also, just to add on to it, every time I die, I have to quit to the main menu and load back in that way, otherwise the game timer continues to tick up, and I need every minute I can buy myself.
Not fond of that, are we?
Now you might want to breathe a sigh of relief now that he's down, but remember, we can't until we save again, meaning every enemy we encounter from now on could lead to a potential redo of that fight.
Still after me, huh?
Not even close. Once we reach the factory, I accidentally trigger the explosive trap I was going to use to bait the chainsaw gang into, meaning I now have to find an alternate solution to that issue. To make sure nothing potentially goes wrong, I use another save here to make sure I don't have to fight Passanta 2 again. This part is really tough. To make it even worse, I forgot to trigger this cutscene before saving, so every time I die, I have to watch this. My sniper is dangerously low on ammo at this point, and Chainsaw 1 takes a lot of bullets to kill. Once he falls, all that's left is Chainsaw 2. It's simply that easy. Honestly surprised I even bothered to tell you it was tough. Only one death? That's easy work.
Just my luck.
Oh, that was weird. Why didn't my kick work? I'm sure that won't ever happen again. Either way, I'm running low on ammo, so let's try to use our knife and find isolated targets where we can easily take them out with our knife. What's that? This guy just spontaneously transforms into a super zombie? Sick. Oh, and he kills me in 2 hits? Right on. Anyway, back to the factory.
You thought it was over.
Remember that missed melee attack from earlier? Well, it turns out that was a sign that my life was about to get a lot worse, because from now on, shit like that starts happening non-stop. While on my next successful run out of the factory, I opt to not fight the chainsaw guys, instead using bear traps to lock them down for long enough to allow me to turn the valve and get out of here. Let's cut to the live footage now. Ooh, go ahead and pull that up on the Jumbotron for us. Yeah, that's definitely a valve getting cranked and then shutting off, forcing you to have to go back in and finish the crank. If that was my fault for letting go of the button a millisecond too early, hey, I guess that's on me. It would be unfair of a single-player video game to give me credit for that one. I opt to avoid the guy that killed me altogether this time, and instead almost die to a totally different guy. In the next area, I only live because this guy sucks at throwing dynamite, and I have another missed melee attack, only this time I have literally no excuses for why this happened. The first time, maybe you could say that me running into the other guy caused my player model to get stopped before I completed the animation, so it didn't count. The valve turn thing, maybe I let go slightly too early and the game wanted to punish me for it. This one, I don't know what I did wrong. The game gave me a prompt in the middle of a clear field, and I hit the button like it told me to, and then it delivered me within melee range of an enemy without kicking them and allowing me to get 1-2 punched since I was unable to react to my missed attack in time. Do you see why I'm starting to lose my marbles a little now? We use this moment to gather up all the resources we can in the area, then burn our third save to lock in progress before fighting El Gigante, since with the luck I've been having, I'm gonna be getting obliterated in there. With the big boy down but our progress not locked in, we sprint all the way to the basement, only grazing death, heading through the castle, saying hi to Leon and dodging the drill, locking in our fourth save. Now I warned you earlier. This section is legitimately the closest I have ever felt to pure and utter despair. Just getting back down to that section is one thing, because of these two jokers naming me CEO, granting me full access to the business. But even when I can get past them, I enter the ultimate hell zone beneath. And it truly is hell. If you only had to deal with the knights, that would be one thing. With just them, it would be a pretty difficult area. But what takes this from really hard to insane is the crossbow guys sitting outside the bars. You have to dance around the knights, all while being shot at by crossbow bolts which kill you in 2 hits. Don't worry though, if you somehow manage to take out the first 2 crossbow guys, they brought their pals, and 2 more will show up. I want you to watch this next attempt with only this knowledge. I end the recording session in pure despair 83 seconds from now.
Thought so.
Three misses? 3 sniper shots that hit the iron bars instead of her head? Listen, man, I understand mad 'cause bad and get good. I've 100%ed Sekiro. I've jungled in League of Legends, okay? I understand pain. This is something else. This is demonic shit. I have no other way to describe it. The last attempt I showed you was legitimately my breaking point. I decided I needed to do something. Anything that would give me control back in my life. I needed to feel less helpless than I already felt. So I ran it again. I played the entire game again on New Game Plus on Professional, all just to get an A rank so I would unlock the Chicago Sweeper. I ran the entire game again, just to feel the power that the infinite ammo weapons give me. They're like a drug. Once you know their power, you don't want to lose them. But this is where fate once again laughs at me. Do you remember the S Plus runs from Leon? How I had to wait until Chapter 7 to upgrade the guns to infinite ammo because you have to save up spinels? Well, guess what? You can have enough spinels to get infinite ammo in the Chicago Sweeper. Directly after this section with the Knights. The hand of fate has shown itself this day. It has commanded that I must overcome this trial. This is my odyssey, my final test. With that section complete, nothing stands in my way. To get the final spinels needed to unlock infinite ammo, I have to complete the merchant request in the maze. They stand no chance. I am nothing but a vessel now, being steered towards my destiny by the ever-growing thread of fate. Infinite ammunition calls to me. I answer. Powerless before me now, the enemies that have wrought me so much pain fall easily before me. Endless metal casings coat the ground like freshly fallen snow. My fingers grow heavier as I lift them off the trigger. After all, when the bullets are endless, why would you bother to stop firing?
Wayward lamb.
With a final time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 58 seconds, Resident Evil 4 has been 100%ed. Thank you all for watching. I had planned to have this released before Christmas, but as I got deeper into writing the script, I realized it wasn't going to happen. This is almost double the word count of Arkham City, and with it being a lot of people's favorite game in the series, I wanted to make sure I did it justice. Luckily for you all, I've already recorded the entirety of RE5 and 6, and I'm halfway through 7, so I'm confident that I can get through it decently fast. It's going to be tight, and I may not make it, but I've already pushed myself a lot harder than I thought I could, so I'm going to give it my all and see what I can do before February. Technically, the challenge requirements are just that I beat them all before RE9 comes out, not that I get the videos out, and upon contacting my lawyer they agree, but that doesn't mean I won't try my hardest. Big shout out to my patrons, Dixby, Jude, Alex, Matt, Eli, Spiralt, and Muriel, along with all my other patrons for making videos like this possible. Thank you. Look out for RE5 in a much more reasonable amount of time. That video will be a lot shorter than this one. I'll see you in the next one.